Welcome back, my charming meniscuses. It's SJB here, and we're going to be discussing the best artillery tower in Kingdom Rush 5. Now, with artillery, it gets a little bit goofy because numbers don't exactly add up necessarily. So I will talk about the numbers, but it is definitely more about a feeling. What actually ends up happening in the game is the bigger question / answer. But it's kind of cool how they made 3 different artillery towers work in completely different ways. The tri-cannon has 3 different attacks that it can shoot out, which means the explosions have a larger possible chance of hitting multiple units, and you are attacking different units at the same time, so you're officially like artillerizing, killing everything all at once, right? And it aims pretty well. It's going to like actually hit the guys. The Battle Brewmaster is a single shot, but a single shot doom giver because he is very strong with a single attack. And I guess it's kind of cool to know that all 3 of these guys attack around the same speed. So they're all going to attack pretty much same speed, so it's all really about just like, can you compare that damage against each other? Not really. Like Tri-Cannon says it does way worse, but it shoots out 3 times as much. This technically attacks twice per shot. This technically does the most, but it also is going to throw 1 big shot, and that's it. So if you don't get that group damage, it can be a little bit less effective than you want it to be. But either which way, all the artilleries in this game are actually quite effective. The biggest issue with artillery in this game is definitely the lack of choke points. For example, this is possibly the perfect level for choke points in the entirety of the game, and you don't get many of those, just to be straight. So any which way, let's talk about these numbers real quick. So this is the efficiency if we're hitting 7 units with an attack. Is that actually going to happen? Not usually, but is it possible? Yes. So it's the max possible efficiency that you can likely expect out of our tower here. But Tri-Cannon is seemingly kind of on the low end, 4.7, even with this many units getting hit. And the reason why is because technically it could probably hit more than 7 units, or it's more likely to hit those 7 units than the other towers, because it has that triple shot. So really, each cannonball only has to hit 2.3 guys to get that 7, where this one single shot has to hit 7 guys. This one single flamethrower would have to hit 7 guys with its shot. Possible, yes, but much less likely than a triple cannon shot hitting. So even though the numbers might look a little bit mysterious here, with 4.7 being clearly the worst, it might not actually work out that way. Battle Brewmaster, by the way, 11.4, absolutely absurd as far as I'm concerned. That is fan-frickin-tastic as far as a tower goes overall, and I think it actually is possible to get that much damage out of him if you put him in a really nice choke point with some nice barracks guys or whatnot. So, that leads us to Flamespitter, which ends up being really weird because it doesn't do all of its damage right from the get-go. It does a burn damage. That burn damage is going to hit the guy with a double shot. You're going to notice it's going to go hit once, and then twice, and then it's going to burn after that. As it levels up, it goes for a higher and higher burn damage, which is kind of cool as well. And it's a residual effect, basically. You got to keep that in mind when playing with him. Any which way, looking at all of these things, do I have a favorite attack? I would say that the Battle Brewmaster is by far, in my opinion, the best 4th tier artillery tower, just at its base level. It does ridiculous amounts of damage, and that's what you want. As long as you're hitting a couple guys with it, it's pretty sweet. And then in addition to that, if you hit somebody with this brew, you can make the enemies weaker, so they can't kill your guys as easily, so it makes it even easier to stall them all and get them all in that nice zone there. So that's a nice little additive bonus to the Battle Brewmaster here. Any which way, I can't really say for sure that one is significantly better than the other, but Battle Brewmaster is my favorite. I would then go for the Flamespitter because I like that burn residual damage here, and then I would lastly have to put the Tri-Cannon in last, unfortunately, for the regular attacks. But let's talk about the rest of the abilities. Do they make sense? So Tri-Cannon, we've got the 2 abilities here, which are kind of weird. They don't necessarily work well with each other. It's almost like a glitch, but if you get bombardments all the way up, it's going to have bombardments happen all the frickin' time, blow stuff up all over the place. You're going to get a ton of damage out of this guy. And like I said, it happens very, very frequently. You can see with the massive damage we did right there, it's only going to take a couple more shots before it's going to end up shooting that bombardment again. But what happens is if you end up going for overheats. It can actually end up making him not shoot out as often, oddly enough, and it can affect your total output of damage, or total output of bombardments, which is going to affect your total damage output. So this guy ends up being really, really weird in the aspect that the numbers don't even truly make sense, even with a high efficiency here. With the bombardment, gets 6.92 at a higher level here. Pretty freaking sweet if we can get that going, but when we finally add in this overheat here, it may not be super effective. So of course the it gets interesting here as well, because the bombardment, I assumed that each bombardment hit one guy, and with the right side upgrade, I also assumed that it hit one guy. So you can see if that happens, if every single bombardment actually hits, it's pretty absurd. If we hit multiple guys with each, it can get even crazier, just double it all. And the same thing with the right-sided here. If we actually hit 2 units per, we're easily getting over 4, no problem. So easily going to make up our damage here. But like I said, they don't work well with each other, which is kind of the main problem with the Tri-Cannon. So I'm definitely giving Tri-Cannon some negative things here. Then it comes down to the Battle Brewmaster. So let's get rid of this and buy a Battle Brewmaster and talk about his abilities. So he's got the Elixir of Might and the Bad Batch. The Bad Batch is going to throw out very unoften, every 30 seconds or so, which I don't want to say that's bad necessarily, but it makes it a lot rougher to use some of these artillery abilities when they happen that less frequently. But if we assume 5 hits on the Bad Batch, which it's possible to get many, many more than that, we're only getting about 3.1, so it's definitely not an amazing ability. Now, right here, you can see it's going to hit at least, technically we'll hit like 3 guys there, but yeah, assuming 5, like, it's still kind of low. It's not the best ability in the game, but by a long shot. And then the guy here, the Elixir of Might, I have a best case scenario, and I have an actual. The actual efficiency that he got, of course, he's going to stall a little bit. The actual efficiency I got was only in the 1.5 range, so not good at all for this guy as far as actually doing damage. If you really want that stalling aspect, and you want him to stall so we can make this Bad Batch really hit more guys like this, boom, we can get the slowdown, we can get the damage out of it. It can really add up and make sense. But personally, if I was going to build Battle Brewmasters, I would just go for the 4th here. Leave out the abilities completely. They're definitely not the best. Moving on, we've got to talk about the Flame Spitter. So I've just got simple numbers here, right? Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. I've got 2 numbers here. The top side is going to end up being the Scorching Torches, which you can see it's quite low as an efficiency, actually, right? 0.64, 0.8, and 0.92 to get above 4, we have to hit basically 5 or 6 guys, which is possible, though. That's the thing. This is huge. It's not a little tiny ball. It can easily hit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 guys. No problem. And you can see, as you multiply that out, it can easily add up to be 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, but nothing absurd. Okay, nothing absurd for the Scorching Torches here, until you get to the Blazing Trail. The Blazing Trail is 2.4, 1.8, and 1.8 per guy you hit with this thing. And that can easily hit many, many more guys than 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5. So that means its efficiency can easily be upwards of 10 or above for an ability. And that is probably the best ability in the game. If not close to it, bro. It's just freaking good. Look at the damage. Look at the burn aspect. Look at everything it does with that ability. It's just good, alright? So we got to go over it. What is the best artillery tower in the game? Okay, we went over how they work and everything. What's truly the best, though? So, I think it's a very clear answer, okay? I don't think there's much argument from a lot of people. I think this is going to be like a, yeah, that just makes sense, Chris. I guess we could argue between these two a little bit, but in my opinion, Tri-Cannon's got to be on the low end. The only real redeeming factor is a triple bombardment. Getting anything else in combination with each other is just not going to really work out all that well for you. So, triple bombardment Tri-Cannon's good, everything else bad, which means he's got to be kind of low on the list because that's really a one-sided tower, right? Then we get to the Battle Brewmaster, which has got to be on second on my list. It's just a step up above the Tri-Cannon. It's not absurdly high or anything like that, but it's because I really like the 4th tiers. They're really rock solid, does tons of damage with each shot, obviously does group damage as well with all the artillery here. But the abilities aren't very good. Like, they're okay, but not good. That's the best way I can put it. They're just kind of there, and if you want to buy them, they're fine, but they're not going to be anything amazing here. And that leaves us with the Flame Spitter, which, by itself, the Flame Spitter is kind of just okay. As a 4th tier tower, he's okay. He's going to do some brute damage, some burn damage. He's going to burn the same enemy twice sometimes, so like, it can easily overkill or overburn guys. It's not going to help you that much, but the abilities are absurd. This is where it's all at. If you get these abilities on the Flame Spitter, there's no way he's going to let you down. Specifically, this ability in particular. The Blazing Trail, if you hit guys properly, does the physical damage plus that true burn damage over time. It is just fantastic, man. So, Flame Spitter is easily number 1 on my list. I think a lot of people love the Flame Spitter, so I don't think anybody's going to really argue with me about that too much. But, of course, this is my opinion. Okay, so if you have a different opinion, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Nothing wrong with it. Just let me know in the comments what you think and why. I'd love to hear why. And, of course, thank you so much for watching, and have a super duper delicious day.